In this video, we will be showing you the correct sequence for donning or putting on personal protective equipment and doffing or taking off personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is used to prevent transmission of infectious agents by protecting both the wearer and any clients from bodily fluids and potentially infectious materials. Selecting the appropriate PPE is based on a risk assessment that must be done before the task or interaction you are about to complete. The type of direct care you will provide to a client or the type of task you are about to perform will determine what PPE must be worn to prevent exposure and reduce the risk of spreading infectious agents or germs. Some risk assessments will only require contact precautions, such as gown and gloves. Others may require only droplet precautions, such as mask and eye protection. And others will require both droplet and contact precautions, such as a gown, mask or N95 respirator, eye protection, and gloves. If performing any task where you might expose yourself to an infectious agent, for example when cleaning up a blood spill, vomit, or feces, PPE should be put on or donned just prior to performing the task. The PPE should then be removed or doffed immediately after completing the task, and the PPE discarded in an appropriate receptacle for laundering, cleaning, and disinfection, or discard. Likewise, when providing direct care to a client, PPE should be donned just prior to the interaction with the client, and it should be doffed immediately after the interaction and be disposed of in the appropriate receptacle for laundering, cleaning, and disinfection, or discard. In this video, we will be showing you the sequence of how to properly don and doff all the PPE you may need. Here is the correct sequence to perform proper donning of PPE. Step 1. Perform hand hygiene. Before donning your PPE, perform hand hygiene. If hands are visibly clean, an alcohol-based hand rub is preferable. If hands are visibly dirty, wash them with warm water and soap for at least 20 seconds. Be sure to thoroughly rub between and around your fingers, thumb, both front and back of the hands, and up wrists. Step 2. Put on the gown. The gown must fully cover your torso from neck to knees, arms to wrists. Put on the gown so the opening is at the back. Wrap the ties around the back, ensuring the gown is overlapping, and secure the ties at the neck and waist. If the gown is too small, use 2. First, tie in the front, and then in the back. Step 3. Put on a mask or an N95 respirator. There are different kinds of masks, but each is worn in a similar way. If using an N95 respirator, only the specific respirator that staff or mask fit tested for should be used. Place the mask over your nose and mouth and extend below your chin, securing it to your head with the ear loops, ties, or with the elastic straps. Bring the bottom strap over your head and let it rest at the back bottom of your head. Bring the top strap over your head and let it rest on the top back of your head. Take the index finger and middle finger of both hands and firmly press down on the metal strip, molding the strip to your nose bridge and cheeks. Do not pinch the metal strip of the respirator or mask around your nose with one hand. This tends to create a gap at the top of the nose bridge, providing an improper seal or fit. The next step is to perform a seal check with the N95 respirator. Each time you use an N95 respirator, a seal check must be performed to ensure that there is a good seal between the edges of the mask and your face, thus reducing the risk of airborne particles entering the respirator. To perform a seal check, cup your hands gently over the respirator and exhale forcefully several times, checking for air leaks around the edges of the respirator. If an air leak is detected at the top of the respirator, use the 2 fingers of each hand and press down on the metal strip, ensuring it is properly molded to your nose bridge and cheeks. Air leaks detected at the sides of the respirator will require readjustments of the straps at either side of the head. If, after several attempts to readjust the respirator, any air leaks are still detected, advise a supervisor or manager immediately. Step 4. Put on the eye protection. Eye protection can be from goggles or face shields. Position the eyewear over your eyes and secure it to your head using the earpieces. If you wear eyeglasses, put them on first and then don your eye protection. Eyeglasses are not an adequate form of eye protection, as particles can enter through the top, sides, and bottom of the glasses. Step 5. Put on the gloves. Put your gloves on last. Insert your hands into the gloves and extend the gloves to cover the cuffs of your gown. Gloves should be the correct size for your hands. If your gloves become torn, perform hand hygiene before putting on new gloves and limit the surfaces and items touched. All PPE must be removed or doffed in sequence and be disposed of carefully. Remember, doffing is very important since equipment is now contaminated. Step 1. Remove the gloves. The outside of the glove is dirty and must be removed with care, using the glove-to-glove and skin-to-skin technique. Grasp the outside edge of the glove near the wrist and peel away, turning the glove inside out. Hold it in the opposite hand and slip 2 fingers under the wrist of the remaining glove. Peel off from the inside, creating a bag for both gloves. Discard. Step 2. Remove the gown. The gown front sleeves are dirty, so avoid touching these areas when removing. Handle the gown from the back and inside. Unfasten the ties. Peel the gown down and away from the neck and shoulder, turning it inside out. Fold or roll into a bundle while being careful to avoid touching clothing. Discard. Step 3. Perform hand hygiene. Perform hand hygiene for 15 seconds before continuing. This step will ensure that the infectious agents are killed before touching your face. Step 4. Remove eye protection. The outside of the protective eyewear is contaminated, so handle eyewear by the earpieces or straps. Remove eyewear carefully and place into a designated receptacle for cleaning and disinfection, or discard. Step 5. Remove the mask or N95 respirator. The front of the mask is dirty. For removal, handle only the ear loops, ties, or elastic straps. Remove it from your face in a downward direction. Discard. Step 6. Perform hand hygiene a second time. To complete the process, perform hand hygiene one more time for 15 seconds. Remember to perform hand hygiene anytime you suspect your hands are contaminated during removal of protective equipment. Let's review the steps for putting on or donning personal protective equipment. First, perform hand hygiene. Then, put on gown. Next, mask or N95 respirator. Then, protective eyewear. And finally, gloves. Remove or doff your personal protective equipment in the following order: gloves, gown, hand hygiene, protective eyewear, mask, and hand hygiene again.